Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another Hot Toys Secret Base figure preview video. Before we begin, I want to say a massive thank you to Ryan Kirkwood for going out in person and snapping these gorgeous high-res pictures. Show Ryan some love in the comments below because without him, this series literally wouldn't be possible. If you are thinking about grabbing your very own copy of Clone Wars / Ahsoka Anakin, I have popped an affiliate link with Sideshow Collectibles in the description below. As always, any commission earned will be reinvested back into the channel and put towards making new content. If you are heading down that way, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button, so you're notified as soon as a brand new figure preview video goes live on the channel. Now, even though we saw this guy teased like in the background of the young Ahsoka pics, I didn't think this was going to happen, honestly, because the outfit and the sculpt on paper should be similar enough to the already released Clone Wars Anakin that I didn't think Hot Toys were going to bother. Luckily, I was wrong, and they did bother. This figure looks absolutely sensational. We'll discuss why I think that a little bit later. He does come with a full array of hands. These are brand new sculpts compared to the hands that we got with the previously released Clone Wars Anakin. There is so much more texture and detail on these gloved hands. They genuinely look like they're made of real leather. They've got the leather grain texture, the stitching, the wrinkling, and the padding on the back of the hands. Some of them do look a little bit more glossy than others. That's just for the prototype. When we get the final version, the finish is going to match across all of the hands. So they did decide to try something new with this Anakin. We finally have some blaster bolt deflecting effect pieces for the lightsaber blade. They just slot on there, no problem, and it was a no-brainer. These, I reckon, should come included with every single Jedi figure going forward. We do get two different lightsaber hilts, one that's USB powered and one that isn't. Unfortunately, they are sticking with the stupid base-lit hilt design LED lightsabers, and that just means I am never going to use it with my figure. We do get the improved swooshing lightsaber blade effect though, with the straight edge and the trailing curve behind it, which is something that I've complained about a ton, so I'm glad they fixed it. They haven't yet fixed the saturation of the blades though. You see these? This is how saturated I want blue lightsaber blades. I want them to pop, and even though these mini holograms aren't lit up by anything, because they are so juicy, for lack of a better word, they look like they are genuinely glowing. They even have those TV scan lines going horizontally across them to make them look like janky little Star Wars holograms. So we do get 3 mini holograms, one of Captain Rex, one of Ahsoka, and one of Obi-Wan, which is the worst of the 3. I think that one has a terrible mini likeness to Obi-Wan Kenobi. The display base is the sand diorama base, but this time without the footprints. I am so happy that they've ditched the footprints. I never had an issue with the texture, the paint applications, or the detail with those diorama base toppers. It was always the bloody footprints, and now that they're gone, do I miss them? Absolutely not. Why is it that every time I do one of these preview videos and I don't look at Sideshow or Hot Toys website to find out if various bits and pieces are made of real leather, they are, and when I do, they're made of pleather. So this time I checked, I can go ahead and rant about the pleather. Once again, I think Hot Toys have shares in a pleather company, because these boots could have been sculpted plastic. There could have been a split-cut boot design, and they would have looked just as good, if not better, than these pleather boots do. Shame on you, Hot Toys. You'll know full well what you're doing. By using pleather, you're automatically putting an expiry date on a figure, which means if you ever decide to make a new one in the future, people might just be scared enough that their old one is going to flake and degrade that they immediately go ahead and pick up the new one. A disgusting business practice that I would like to see stop immediately. It's sculpted plastic or genuine leather. There are no other options. Okay, rant over. Let's talk about the outfit. So the red for the pants and the inner tunic is much more saturated this time as compared to the, let's just call it 1.0 Clone Wars Anakin. That one was more so Hot Toys' own take on what a live-action Hayden Christensen Clone Wars Anakin would look like. Whereas this one is based off a real practical costume that Hayden was wearing on set for the Ahsoka series. Oh, and that belt, that's also pleather, just if you were wondering. Fingers crossed nothing happens to it, but with pleather's track record being as shit as it is, one day it is going to degrade on us. So the armor is once again similar to the 1.0 Anakin, yet there's more detail, more texture, and there are more scratches on the surface. The neck piece cups the bottom of his neck very tightly, and I am worried that if we get crazy with the posing, it is going to scuff up the paint applications on Anakin's neck. It definitely did for my 1.0, so I've now been a lot more careful when it comes to posing him. Just something to keep in the back of your mind with this new one. He is sporting a different glove on the right side as compared to the left, so don't forget he has the robotic hand on the right side, hence he has this split cut design for the glove with the buckles painted in silver, whereas on the left it's his normal human hand and he's got this big hunk of sculpted plastic that is meant to look like leather, and surprise, surprise, it does. So that just goes to show that Hot Toys can absolutely make plastic look like leather if they want to, which, as it turns out, they don't. So the rest of the outfit is full fabric, which means you can go crazy with the posing. It's not like Episode 3 Anakin where he's got the pleather tabards, so you don't have to worry that they're going to crease or wrinkle or stick to themselves. With this guy, you can have him posed on the stap if you have it from the 1.0, or you can have him kicking some serious ass on the battlefield alongside Ahsoka and Captain Rex. Right, so all of the other stuff like the blaster bolts and the improved display base and the swooshing lightsaber effect and the new costume, I love all that. But I don't love it anywhere near as much as this head sculpt. Yes, it looks like a 42-year-old Hayden Christensen supposedly playing a Clone Wars era Anakin. He's got the crow's feet, he's got some wrinkles, and he's got the frown lines up on top, and he's got some defined lines under his nose just above his lips. I don't care about any of that. The likeness for me is uncanny. This is now one of my favorite head sculpts of all time. It is Hayden Christensen. I don't think anybody can debate that. Some people don't like the expression, and I get it, it's not going to be for everyone. But it certainly is for me. That smolder is on point. They nailed it. I don't think it works necessarily for an action pose, though. Just standing there in more of a character/stoic pose, this sculpt is going to work a hell of a lot better. And it's got moving eyes. Not to mention that the sculpted hair looks like rooted hair. That is the best sculpted hair I've ever seen. There's flow to it, it looks like the clumps of hair strands are crossing over one another, and the fringe piece is made of rubbery plastic and their individual strands, which means if you want to heat them up and move them around a little, you totally can. This pose isn't doing him any favors. I don't know why they decided to go with this pose with his head leaning forward as much as it does, because now it looks like he's got absolutely no neck. Don't worry about that. Check out the promo pics, you can see him standing straight up and down. He has a neck, and he looks so much better than he does in this pose at Secret Base, in the promo pics when he's not in this pose. So, at the end of this, do I think it's worth it to sell your original Clone Wars Anakin and get this guy? Well, that depends on you. If you like the darker tone for the outfit with that one, and the cape and the interchangeable armor piece and the longer hair, stick with that one. But if you prefer the real live-action version of Clone Wars Anakin that we literally saw on screen, then this is the one for you. And he certainly is the one for me. I cannot wait to get this guy in hand. Oh, and for those who were laughing at me for spending big bucks on a custom head sculpt for that Clone Wars Anakin, I'm still happy I did it. That head sculpt has a place in my collection, so laugh at me if you want. I still love that sculpt. I have popped the Sideshow affiliate link that I mentioned at the start of the video in the description below. Any commission earned will be reinvested back into the channel if you do decide to purchase from them, and put towards making new content. If you are heading down to the description, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next video.